their tour passes, merch.
Got it.
With no requirement of dating the album, with no dates for a tour, etc. I spoke to him. He knows he doesn't have the #1 album this month. I bit my tongue last week. Queen Radio, but I won't on Tuesday. I love you guys so much.
Hello, you're in the frame with me, Julie, and Happy New Year, kind of. It's like January 15th when I'm filming this, but it's fine. I hope you had a good end of last year, and I hope that you feel good about the way your year ended or where it went. Mine was just average, so I didn't really go into much reflection or best of and worst of the year. I just kind of was like, let's move ahead. So today I invite you to make a 2019 travel vision board manifestation board with me. So if you're unaware, a vision board is something like this one I've created behind me. This can be inspiration for a specific creative project. It can be just general goals for the future. It can be specific goals for the future. So for today, I didn't really make a life one for the whole year, but I made a travel one. So that's places I want to go, things I want to make happen, the way that I want to make those things happen, and this travel happen, has lots to do with money and stuff. And so yeah, so with vision boards, it's really quite free. Like, you can make a physical one. I haven't done this in a while. I think like 2 or 3 years have gone by since I made my last actual physical vision board. You can make a digital one, and I find it's really cool to like have both of them. So this is right across from my bed, so when I wake up, that's exactly the first thing I see right in front of me. And you can have the Pinterest one, or just like some images on your phone. So anytime you feel like you're getting derailed, or you kind of like forget why you're doing the things that you're doing, or making sacrifices you're making, it's right there, and you can just pull it up and like remind yourself of the main goal. So that's an intro to vision boards, manifestation, making your goals happen. But you also see that I've left a little bit of space, because I also like to leave room for spontaneity. If all of these things don't happen, then I'm cool, because they can get replaced with different or better things for that time. They can get pushed ahead to the next year or to years onwards from now. So it's very it's also important to stay open to like things that you might not expect to happen. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna take you into how I made this and how you can make your own as well. Hi, it's me. So I'm gonna take you through quickly the things that you need, or that you might need, to make a vision board, which is pictures, the visual effect. So I cut some from magazines. I only really read a couple of magazines. Shout out Nomad magazine, you're the goat. Some New Yorkers. I had some old-fashioned magazines too. Some are printed off the internet, but only a few of these are like Google searched or from the magazines. Others I kind of specifically got from particular places, and I'll explain that later. Some sort of glue or sticky, I don't know what you call this wherever you're from. Blue tack. We always called it blue tack when I was young, but this is white, so I don't know about that. More pictures. A craft knife, cutting knife, whatever you want to call it. You can also just use scissors, of course, but I find this quicker and easier. And a cutting mat if you have that. That's not necessary, I'm just saying what I used. Also got some pens here, because I might get a little bit artsy with the words that I want to have on here. So yeah, so easy, so simple. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through all the pictures and place them on this my blank canvas, and explain what they all mean. So this is actually a page from like a brochure of, I don't remember what, like resort in Diani here at the coast of Kenya. So I just like that it's like almost like a window or a door type of thing, and it just so happens that like at the same time I was reading something else that had the word alchemy, so I just feel like that works really nicely together. What else? What does this say? Heritage. Okay, I'll explain about that later, but it has a lot to do with architecture. I did my degree in architecture, and it's very much like, without realizing, that's the type of thing I notice when I'm out and about, but like I'm not really documenting it, which I would like to do more of. Savings. You need money to travel. Those are the facts of life. So I'm gonna have some really healthy savings. I really like to have like a spontaneous trip fund, you know what I mean? If I find a really good flight deal, to be able to just book it there on the spot. Happiness. Self-explanatory. This here is a picture of a town called Port Louis in Senegal. Senegal is coming up in my mind a lot lately, so I really feel like that'll be a good time to go. This is also a museum in Dakar, Senegal. I forgot what it's called. but it's named after one of the first presidents, maybe the first president of Senegal. It's another picture of Port Louis, like really bright and beautiful by the ocean. So what I was saying about not just getting pictures of random places, these two are from the blog of Lee Litumbe, who's Spirited Pursuit on Instagram and spiritedpursuit.com. I really enjoy her content and like her photographs and everything like that. So she's one of the first people who posted about Port Louis that I saw, and that's one of the big inspirations for going to this specific city in Senegal in general, but this place in particular. So I decided to go to her blog and get her photographs that had her touch and her stories. So yeah, that's Senegal. This here is a place just out of Moshi, what's it called? Kikuleto Springs, something like that. And I just think it'll be like a really nice relaxation spot right outside of a town that I've been to a couple of times. I just didn't know it existed. This springs existed for a long time, and now I do, and now I want to go. This is Moshi is the town that's at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro, and everybody starts the climb in Moshi. And that is a major goal of 2019. I am in talks to climb Kilimanjaro in the next month or two. And so that's just like a really cool vision of, I don't think that's any of the peaks, it could be, but that's just like a really cool sunrise vision type of thing. I'm sure it's like mentally really hard, but I feel like that's a thing I can do, you know. I'm very seriously thinking about spending like a month in Tanzania, because I've been to parts, but there are some places I like to go again. I've talked about this before, like I'm a fan of visiting places more than once, including Zanzibar, which I went to Zanzibar in February of last year, which was cool. This is one of my own pictures of some chests at a local market. But I'd like to go again and experience it's actually very big, different sides of the island. I spent most of my time in Stone Town and one afternoon in Paje, which is on the east side, which is very nice. I'd like to go north to Nungwi and see what else is there as well, like even in the center of the island, which is not at the beach. That being said, I have technically been to Dar es Salaam, but just for layovers, so never more than like 8 hours at a time. This is a picture of a rooftop bar that my friend Cleo took. Cleo blogs at yournextbigtrip.com. She lives in Dar es Salaam and has for a while, and she's very much interested in finding the cool stuff. She just knows the things, and she also is the reason that I went to Paje in Zanzibar instead of just staying in Stone Town the time I was there. So that's another goal, to go to Dar finally, properly, and to hang out with Cleo because she knows all the things. That's Tanzania. Festival Fever. If you have been following me for a while, particularly on Instagram, but either way, on YouTube as well, I have a festival playlist. I'm really always on the lookout for more interesting festivals in Africa and beyond. So that. What else? In order to document things better, I need better gear. I would like a new camera. I would love a Canon D7X just because it's like as small as the Canon I have now, which is what I'm using and what I have used for like 3 years, but some better quality would be great. And also a flip out screen so I can see myself vlogging. It can be really helpful. I thought that's just a good image of like looking out onto a Dow, and more drawing and more writing and more coffee from the coast. That can go here. Camera also goes with savings. Heritage can come here too. What else are we doing? Okay, so something I'm aiming for, and I've been kind of nervous. I wasn't sure. Oh shit, you good? I wasn't sure whether I should add this into the video because it's kind of like, it depends. But the Yacht Week, if you don't know of the Yacht Week, it's like a really famous festival type of thing where basically you just book a yacht with people for like a week, and it's like a bunch of boat parties. It originated, or at least the first few editions happened in Croatia, but now they do them up and down the Mediterranean, also in the Caribbean. I know they have a British Virgin Islands version. They have Montenegro, I think, and it'd be like 1 or 2 others. So that's cool. I would love to go ashore, but more than that, I want to apply to be an intern for the summer. So they take on interns where you're like an event intern. So basically you're there helping to entertain the guests and let them know what's happening, what's around, what they can do, what parties are happening, and just like host, basically. They also take on applications for hostesses, but I feel like I would be better at the other job. So this is like, these are pictures from their official website. This is a picture of, these are actually Montenegro, which is not necessarily related. But yeah, I just really like to go and do that. That's similar to the kind of work I did in Cape Town, which was, I worked at a hostel called Ones in Cape Town. And my job was to, I'm going to cut up another yacht bake picture, which is a lot of swimming, a lot of blue, a lot of water. But anyway, my job in Cape Town was, we were called CEOs, which is like Chief Entertainment Officers. I'm really bombing this thing, hang on. And what we had to do was, there were like, I want to say like 10 of us at a time. And we each worked for at least 3 months, and our job was to entertain the guests. So every week we had a meeting and we planned out activities for the week. And every single day there was something that the guests could join for free, whether it was a beach day or a hike or a market day or like a games day night, even stuff like drinking game nights. Every Tuesday we had no power hour, which was, we got them free beers and ciders, but there were no phones allowed unless you were playing music. And I didn't think that I would be good at the job in the beginning. That's actually like not the reason that I reached out to the hostel. I wanted to run the social media. And they were like, this is what we have available. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll try it out. And it actually, like, even my introverted ass, it went okay. It's like, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy helping people make the most of their travels and get to know a city, and especially for solo travelers, because I feel like I met a lot of people who were like, yeah, I was a little bit nervous to join it, but I had a lot of fun, type of thing. And even though they're still traveling alone, they've made some friends, which was really cool for me to see. So I feel like I could totally be a good Yacht Week event intern. I suppose that's a festival, right? I think it is, yeah. Okay, that counts. Cool. So yeah, those, if you're interested in applying to be a Yacht Week, either hostess or events intern, applications open on Friday. I'm filming this on a Monday, and Friday I think is the 17th, so you can just check out theyachtweek.com, and maybe we can be friends in Croatia. Speaking of Croatia and the Mediterranean and the Balkans, I don't think Croatia is a Balkan country, but it doesn't matter. This I will explain in a future video coming very soon, but I have had Montenegro on my mind for a really long time. Partly because it's just like one of those cool, like a lot of the Balkans in Eastern Europe has only recently kind of like been paid attention to as a place to go and hang out, mostly because of Game of Thrones, but also just because they're really cool. So this is these are a few pictures of stuff I would like to see. It's a lot of water. It's a whole lot of water. I like to be at the water. This year I've been in Nairobi. This past year, I mean, I've been in Nairobi a lot, which is not at the water. So I'm really starting to realize, I didn't think it was a thing, especially if you haven't spent your childhood at the water, but I totally am a water baby, and I didn't realize for a long time. So there's something here that says out of the blue. I think I'll actually deep blue. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. Nomad magazine with the visual, as always. So yeah, it's as much as I have been focusing on traveling locally in the past few years, like this past year not that much, even though I did get to go to Zanzibar for the first time. What the hell, man? Why is this being like this? Anyway, I haven't left the continent in about 2 years, so it would be really nice to have a combination now this coming year of things like the Yacht Week and chilling in Montenegro, and places I've been before, like Zanzibar, and the rest of Tanzania. Not the rest, Tanzania is very big, hey? And also new places on the continent, like Senegal. So I think it'll be a nice combination year for traveling around Africa and beyond. Deep blue bitch. Okay. So what else? So heritage, again, as I was saying, is to document more architecture, and more than that, I sort of have been thinking, I have this degree and everything, and people are really up in their feelings that I'm not using it, which is hilarious, because like only somebody who didn't study architecture or hasn't worked in it would say that to you, because you learn absolutely everything. But what has been on my mind has been heritage and restorations and stuff like that. This here is a picture of Getty Ruins, which is in, I suppose it's the north coast, kind of close to Kilifi, here in Kenya. And it's one of the oldest civilizations, recorded civilizations on the Swahili coast. They were just so advanced. They proper, like, there's not really any indication why the inhabitants left, but it's, I think, estimated to be around the 13th century that they just like packed up and left. That's really what it looks like. Some more deep blue imaging. And I'm really interested in going and documenting more indigenous African architecture. Not necessarily old things like this, just architecture in general. Like, that's another thing that draws me to Senegal so much. Like, this kind of thing is really, particularly like immediately after independence, which I think for them was the 70s. I could be wrong. But yeah, just like go and check out all the different styles, and traditional building and modern building and the combinations and what's going on right now. Because I really feel like throughout my time studying, and yes, I studied in South Africa, which in terms of architecture is very Eurocentric, there was not that much mention of like what was happening in terms of Africa all around the continent. So yeah, so far that's what I'm working with. I think that I'm not going to stick them down. I'm going to use this to kind of tack them down so that it's also flexible, because I didn't do a full-on plan for the year, because you can't really do that. I'd like to have room for spontaneity. I'd like to have room for cool, unexpected surprises, because as much as I've been thinking about these things, and it's more of a clear kind of, it's more clear how they might link to each other or fit in the same year. I also have been thinking about South America a lot. And again, like Montenegro, I'll tell you why in a future video. But it has to do with a visa hack, which actually can make it very easy to explore Eastern Europe all in one go and South America and the US all in one go. Coming soon. But yeah, this is what I have been thinking about so far. I'm going to stick these down, and then I think I'm going to do a little bit more embellishing with the words, and throughout the year I will keep on adding to it. Aside from this, I have all these pictures saved, apart from like the couple that I cut out of physical magazines, and I have a Pinterest board going. You can follow me on Pinterest. That's also like really nice and easy to keep updating, and that's something you can take with you everywhere, which is another cool thing about the vision board. What I did with my vision board for India is I actually made it all soft. Like I made it all on Canva, I believe. And then I just like kind of made it a collage and put it up on my blog. And also had that as a Pinterest board with all the individual pins. And that's another way of doing that. The last time I did a physical vision board though was about almost 3 years ago when I was planning my Euro trip. And that totally happened. So, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm gonna stick this down. So there you have it. This is my semi-complete vision board. Again, I say semi-complete because room for spontaneity, room for surprises is always welcome in my life. But that's also just what works for me. That might not. But has my freaking collar been down this whole time? This is so rude. Anyways, that might not be what works for you. So it's also really important to tailor this to things that you want yourself and not be swayed so much by other people, and also things that realistically you feel like can happen for you in the time frame that you've decided, or on the scale that you've decided, etc., etc. I hope you enjoyed that video. You let me know in the comments, do you have any of the same goals? Have you been to any of these places? And did you enjoy it? Did you not? Do you have plans to travel this year? Is this not going to be a traveling year for you either? Let me know whatever you want to let me know in the comments. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And remember, Pinterest, you can get all of these images on my 2019 vision board on Pinterest, so you can have that on the go with you on your phone or your computer, wherever you have access to the internet. Okay, that's all for me. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.